TRA is a huge collaborative conference by way of background. It's the largest European transport mobility conference, very much focused on research and innovation technology. It's covering all modes of transport, but it's also a networking opportunity in terms of policy and strategy, delegates and participation. So it's not just about research, it's built around research. It's a state event. So it's co-hosted by the Department of Transport and the European Commission as well. And the Irish Consortium is made up of a number of governments, departments and state agencies, of which key are TII, who are represented here by Albert, and UCD as well also. And our Minister Eamon Ryan and Jack Chambers are the President and Vice President of TIRA. So the Management Committee, I won't get into this in as much detail now, but the Management Committee reflects that. It reflects all the European platforms, the Commission and Ireland as well. And I suppose that Management Committee changes accordingly depending on who the host is, but that's the structure of it there. And it has worked well. So the programme of the conference then is built around 4 days of plenary sessions, strategic sessions, technical sessions, special sessions, used to be called invited sessions, as well as host ministerial roundtable events for every day. And there's obviously technical tours, there's the exhibition area itself, and then there's obviously demonstrations as well. So there's an awful lot going on during the conference. So you can see here, just to give a flavour of the programme, there's 4 plenary sessions, 4 ministerial host sessions at the same level, 16 strategic sessions, 108 technical sessions, 36 special sessions, and you can see a huge number of poster presenters as well, and obviously the technical tours. We're putting a lot of emphasis this time around in terms of trying to enhance the posters, because it's really important. If a conference is scaling up, you're trying to give everybody fair say, and the posters are a really important way going forward. So this reflects themes for the plenary and host sessions, and the themes of the day of the conference are reflecting the plenaries here at the top: safe and inclusive transport, on over towards collaborative digitalisation. But then you can see the host session themes down the bottom as well, and they're quite close to what the plenary sessions are as well, but they're obviously more from a ministerial host perspective. These are the number of abstracts received so far. We've received 1,200 abstracts, and they've translated into 486 presentations, 108 technical sessions, and 438 poster presentations as well. Now, Celine here is beside me, just say a few words in terms of the type of C-level participants we got. Celine is Assistant Director of the conference as well, and has been buried in it for the last year or so. So if you want to just say a few quick word or two about the C-level speakers.
Thanks, John. As you can imagine, now we're only 7 weeks out, and our speakers have been identified with regard to our plenaries, of which we have 4 across each of the mornings, and then in the afternoons of the conference we have ministerial roundtables. They will be hosted by ministers from Ireland's different departments. Currently our lineup across both is approximately 64 people in total on the stage. That will include 6 panellists for each session. There will also be a host, and we have our moderators. As part of this, one of the key aspects was looking at it through a gap analysis lens to ensure that we had all our modes represented. So like we have here around the table today, so we have our road, we have our rail, we have our air, we have our water, we have a cross modality. So we needed to look through a lens for each of the days to ensure that all our attendees and our delegates could find their particular space within each of the days. We also approached it from a thematic sense, that we didn't have a mode per day, but that there would be something on every single day for all of our delegates from each of the modes. So our speakers have been identified currently. We also looked at it from a geographic standpoint. So in addition to the modes, we looked at different geographies, and we also looked at it with regard to gender. So we hope at this stage, with the lineup that we have, and it's all on our website, we're looking forward to welcoming them all. They've more or less confirmed, and we hope that all our attendees and delegates will find something for them that will be informative and will move the discussion forward from where it currently is at the moment. We look forward to welcoming you all to TRA 2024 in Dublin.
We'll start by saying that transport research in Europe is pretty wide. Among others, there exists a European Transport Research Alliance, ETRA, which has something like 100 different institutes and universities included, and they are organized in 5 associations that cover highway research, transport research, rail research, road safety research, and human-centered design for information society technologies. So what is the added value of TRA for academia? Despite not being a typical research academic event, there is still a extremely great value, as it is an important arena, as the name says, for the interchange of knowledge and networking. It also allows to find partners to foster research results to full implementation. It allows to meet and talk to representatives of the European Commission, of technology platforms, and to associations like CEDAR. It is an ideal stage to promote joint transport research priorities and coordinate research programs and initiatives. And of course, it allows to promote cooperation in all relevant areas. It also brings opportunities to academia to get involved in the preparation of common position papers, like strategic research agendas and roadmaps on key transport-related issues, to strengthen the European joint research expertise, research infrastructures, and mobility of researchers through joint actions and initiatives, and in the end, to internationally promote European transport expertise and innovation. So every new TRA brings memory back, because we organized the TRA 2008 in Ljubljana. This was the early days of TRA, the 2nd edition. It was only 4 years after the major EU expansion at that time. So the basic difference was that at that time the TRA was road related. It was not the whole or all different modes related. But even at that time, it was supported by European Commission, by CEDAR and AirTrack. And even at that time, the slogan was greener, safer and smarter road transport for Europe. So that's not that much different to what we are pursuing today in Europe. And I should point out 2 things that still remained from the TRA in Ljubljana. The first one was that we started the year competition of young researchers. So it started there, and now it evolved into TRA Visions, which is much broader event, which is extended to all modes of transport and also senior researchers. And I should also point out that TRA logo, as we know it today, is from that time. We added those 3 interlocked arches, which basically represent greener, safer, and smarter. So, thank you very much for the attention.
For us, what is unique at TRA? Let me simplify it a little bit. We have 2 parties. On the one side, we have the policy level of public administration. And on the other side, we have the technical experts. And it's clear that sometimes we have different pictures. The policy level has a vision, sometimes vicious, and the technical experts, they have their specific knowledge, and they can bring in what is possible today, what will be possible tomorrow, what could be possible, and what do we not know at the moment. And these elements, which are unknown at the moment, these are the elements for future research. And it is not God-given that these perspectives fit together. And what can we do? We need to discuss it. And this is exactly what can be done at the TRA conference. The dialogue between the policy level and the technical level. And then another unique selling point of TRA for us is that it is multimodal. And this is extremely good, because each model is needed in Europe for mobility. And each model has its specific benefits according to the use case. And we need to develop the sustainable mobility by technical solutions and by coordination of the different models. Only technical improvements can provide the solution. And therefore we must collaborate, and sometimes we also would like to have, and we want to have, the competition. Also competition between different modes, competition in a technology-based way, not in a regulatory-based way, in competition. Why? Because we are living in a free society, and competition is the element which brings us forward. So we are looking forward to a fantastic TRA in Dublin.
I'm Policy and Project Officer at ECTP, which is the European Construction and Sustainable Built Environment Technology Platform, and which is a leading membership organization covering the whole supply chain of the built environment. It was founded in 2004 and has been participating in the organization of TRA since before 2012. And it is a horizontal platform with a transversal view on transport infrastructure. And this is why for ECTP, the cross-cutting cooperation and collaboration is really needed to address the number of challenges faced by the transport sector, and TRA provides the arena for this. For us, it's really the place where transport-related stakeholders meet, and it helps us to get a deeper understanding for the needs of stakeholders to cross-check our viewpoints, and also getting some directives where future innovation should focus on. And it's even more helpful for because infrastructure networks are getting more complex. They combine several topics like energy, digital transport, and various stakeholders. And it's also a good place to discover all the possibilities for defining the future and continue discussing how transport and transport infrastructure should look like in the future. So it is also one of the channels that helps ECTP to develop its strategy of cooperation in transport infrastructure. And we are really looking forward to jointly define the transport infrastructure of the future with all the stakeholders involved. And we are in here in TRA for the long term. It's not only about the conference, but also in between the conferences. So it's about collaboration, communication, and also cross-cutting cooperation. This is what TRA means for us and why we are here for Bushing. Thank you.
We are one of the European technology platforms, and we are dealing with the waterborne transport sector. Now, what is the term waterborne transport? That is both maritime transport as well as inland navigation and the production of the ships around it, and of course the research community. Our main goal is to provide policy guidance on what are the R&D needs of the sector, and since 2021 we have a partnership with the Commission on zero-emission waterborne transport, and that will be one of the key themes during the TRA for us. But maybe a few words about the sector, because we are rather introvert, not me as a person, but the sector is rather introvert. So what is waterborne transport? Maybe a few statistics. Approximately 90% of the international trade comes by ship. 81% of the external EU trade and 34% of the internal EU trade comes by ship. So if we would look around us, we are not that invisible anymore. 90% of what is in this room comes by ship. We can look at the gas we heat our houses with, the grain, etc., which comes in. Also at the critical raw materials which were discussed this morning. And in that sense, Europe is an island. And for us, that is one of the reasons why Ireland is such a unique location. With hundreds of islands in Europe, which are depending on waterborne transport, but which also have the specificities in terms of greening this waterborne transport, where the islands are depending on that mode of transport for both the transport of passengers and goods. But there is far more than that. one back, that will be a dedicated theme during the TRA. So the insularity and how waterborne transport plays a role there, and what are the specific needs to decarbonize, for example, the ferry fleet in Europe, but also looking at how do we ensure safe transport of people and goods in between the islands. That's not the only thing. We have approximately, if we divide the worldwide fleet, 6 different ship types, ranging from inland waterway transport, sailing on the rivers, but with an impact on biodiversity, for example. We have the ferry fleet, the short sea shipping fleet playing a key role in transporting between European countries, the cruise, the offshore and the intercontinental fleet. All of them have their specific needs in terms of decarbonization. So next to the other modes of transport within the sector, we have different needs, mainly depending on how long should they sail and which power requirement. Things we will discuss during the TRA, but also how to remain competitive in an international environment, not only from the perspective of transporting the goods, but also from the perspective of producing all of the goods. If we look, for example, at European shipyards and maritime equipment manufacturers building these vessels, they are also key for our defense sector, but how can we remain competitive with ensuring that we still have commercial fleet to be built in Europe? What can we do? What are the R&D needs? How do we do this in a solution which works for the entire ecosystem? We will focus on 3 themes besides the theme of insular policy. That is, of course, the sustainability in the broad sense of the word, which includes circularity, but sustainability from an economic point of view, an environmental point of view, and a social point of view. And the social is linked to jobs and skills, but also to the just transition. How are we ensuring that nobody is being left behind? We look at digitalization and the overall issue of competitiveness, and specifically competitiveness in the international environment. And then the last thing, ports. Ports play a key role in all of this. Ports are receiving the goods and passengers and shipping the goods and passengers, but they also are going to play a different role. The ports as the energy hubs. And one of the dedicated sessions will be on the ports as energy hubs and which R&D is needed to ensure that they can play this role, not only, I would say, for waterborne transport, but also for the other modes of transport. And this all has to be done in cooperation with other modes of transport, in the sector itself, between all the different segments, but certainly with the research and academia sector. And we will discuss with you where do we stand, what are the next steps, but also receiving your input on what should be the next steps in terms of R&D to implement these solutions as soon as possible.
The Europe Trade is a public-private partnership in the form of a joint undertaking that is there to promote research and innovation and actually funding also research and innovation. So we have a lot of results to share in TRA, and I'm also here representing ERAC, which is the rail technology platform in Europe for gathering together all the rail stakeholders in order to build up our future and be sure that at the end we are offering to citizens and businesses the best possible rail service. So for us, TRA is absolutely key. It's a place where we can share technical knowledge, we can share scientific knowledge with a wider transport community. And I share with what has been said before, it's absolutely key that we share and we collaborate all together. In particular, I think in this Dublin edition, it's very well organized because we will have special sea-level sessions where all the transport modes are represented, and we will have overall also other strategic and special and technical sessions that will provide to whoever is coming to TRA a very good overview of what's going on in the transport research and innovation. And the first that are interested to know about it, it's also us. I think also another key aspect and value that we see in TRA is the TRA vision. Why? Because we really believe that we are there also to serve the new generation. And the new generation, we need to listen to them, and we need also to get them involved in defining the future together. As rail, well, I'm happy when I listen youngsters that want to travel across Europe with rail as the backbone mobility transport mode, but there is a lot of challenges that we need to tackle, and we need to tackle it together with the other transport modes, and that's why I think, again, TRA is the perfect frame under which we can start to do this. I'm happy also to report that we will be supporting the TRA vision, again, because this is important for us, but also there will be an ERAC competition for PhDs, where we will also support that. And then let me end to say that when you come to Dublin, please come and visit our stand, because for the first time we will have a stand shared together with 3 other joint undertakings. So we are sharing it with Clean Aviation, we are sharing it with Clean Hydrogen, and we're sharing it with CESAR. So already showing physically that we can work together, and we will be just on the back of the European Commission, because at the end this is a European endeavor, and we need to move forward together, help us to make rail the choice of mobility, using also other transport mode, but creating a sustainable transport for the future of our children.
Transportation is becoming critical for all the logistics activities, and logistics is critical for our lives. Without logistics, we could not get any goods for our lives. So then, what we get out of TRA? All the transportation modes, as we can see here, are going into a deep transformation and going into decarbonization, but also digitalization, automation. There are plenty of these technologies that are impacting how we know the transportation modes. At the end, all these transportation modes are needed to transport the goods, and then this has an impact on the logistics operations. There, it's really critical to understand how this evolution in the transportation modes is happening at what pace. And this is what we can get in TRA by discussing with the different transportation modes, to understanding the development of the technologies, what we can expect on those technologies. And that's why we truly believe TRA is a very important place to be for logistics stakeholders, because you can get in a place a very holistic view of what's going to happen for the transportation in Europe, but also worldwide. Then what you will get if you come to TRA is also we have supported very much the conference program, and within this program we can have in all days and in all the slots logistics related sessions that you can combine with more technology transportation mode sessions. We also have gathered in our booth, because we truly believe our organization can be the glue between the different transportation modes, that they can do the best of what they can, but at the end we need to get them working together, and that's what logistics needs to do, to make them working together. And that's what you can get when you come to our booth. You will get a very good representation of different research and innovation projects, 23 projects in different areas for different transportation modes, and how these are making evolving logistics models. So we truly believe TRA is the place to be. For logistics, there are 3 main areas that are very important. It's decarbonization, it's digitalization, and resiliency. We have heard, and this is a topic that has been there in research for a long time, 20 years. But now we see we are in the critical period, and in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a deep transformation in transportation and logistics. So now is the moment in which we are transforming from research to deployment. And there is where we can learn out of all these developments. And for our members, particularly logistics companies, retailers, and shippers, it's really important to get the pulse with other stakeholders, to share their challenges, but also to get ways to address those challenges. So we are really happy and proud to be in Dublin, and looking forward to meeting you all there.
Aircraft is the fastest mode of transport we have on Earth. However, it's also the most difficult mode of transport to make sustainable. So there we have a very huge challenge within the sector. However, aviation is not a standalone modality yet. Today I came here by train, but I also need to take a metro, and being Dutch I also took my bike this morning. And it all has to be connected seamlessly. So seamless connectivity is extremely important for all modes. That means we need to come together and talk about that. We also need to talk about affordability. People must be able to afford mobility. while we still have this huge challenge of making things sustainable, how can we still make it affordable for people? That's also a question we need to discuss. And all these type of questions we will discuss at the TRA. And specifically for aviation, we will address our new strategy paper, which is called Flying the Green Deal. How are we going to make aviation sustainable?
Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Albert Daly. I'm the director of TRA 2024, and I'm probably the person mostly responsible for bringing the conference to Dublin in April of this year. We're really very excited and enthusiastic about having such a significant and important event in the country, and I'd really like to welcome you all to Dublin in April. We have tried to put an Irish context onto TRA by particularly in the themes. We have our own issues in Ireland. It's been mentioned that Ireland is an island, very heavily dependent on air and water to bring people and goods into the country. There's really no other way. We still don't have any tunnels to the rest of Europe. And even within the country, we're very dependent on road transport for both people and goods. So we have particular issues, and they're the kinds of things that we want to have discussed at TRA. This idea of equitable and just transport and mobility, which has been mentioned by other people around the table as well, because we feel we do have particular issues, and we certainly want to be able to share our issues and also hopefully our solutions with our European colleagues. So I'd really welcome you all to come to Dublin to discuss those issues with us, help us solve our own solutions within the wider European context. So I'd like to wish everybody a Céad Míle Fáilte, 100,000 welcomes to Dublin in April, and we guarantee some nice sunny April weather in Dublin, so please come along. Thank you very much.